Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please welcome for today's invocation, Reverend Sebron Johnson, Senior Pastor of Greater Harvest Church.
And so let us pray. O God, our God, thou who stretchest forth thine hands from everlasting to everlasting. O God, our God, who knows our ending even from the beginning. God, we pause to seek your presence among us. Through countless intersections of misery and marginalization, we seek your presence. Through intentional efforts of polarization among your people, we seek your presence. Through the uncertainty of questions around censorship and citizenship, we seek your presence. And while we come together today to receive a commencing word on the state of our county, we are aware that only you provide the concluding word on the state of our lives. So God, help us to remember that with you, we embody the supernatural power of collaboration and the strength that comes from our shared commitment to one another as brothers and sisters in the community. And that despite the challenges we face from outside forces, it is through love and unity that we find the courage to overcome them all. This moment calls for strong and steady leadership. And so, God, we ask for your guidance over our esteemed legislators, and in particular, our county executive. Grant them wisdom in their decisions, strength in their resolve, and a spirit of cooperation as they lead us forward. May their actions reflect the love and dedication we have for our community, fostering an environment where every voice is heard and valued. God, let us strive to build a brighter future for Monroe County, guided by your light and your love. May our hearts be filled with compassion, and may we work hand in hand, embracing our differences while celebrating our common goals. And as we struggle in these tumultuous times to be one United States, let us help and hope that we can begin right here as Monroe County, one under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So hear our prayer, O Lord. Incline thine ear to us and grant us thy peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let us all declare, Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Deputy County Executive Jeff McCann.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for being here today for the 2025 State of the County Address. As we look back at a very busy but productive year, it's great to see so many community partners that help make our work possible. I have the honor of recognizing the elected officials who joined us here today. First, our partners in county government, Sheriff Todd Baxter. Okay. It took them a minute, Sheriff, but they like you. District Attorney Sandra Dorley. And Monroe County Clerk Jamie Romeo. Thank you for being here. Next is a person who is as committed to serving his constituents as our county executive is. Please welcome Mayor Malik Evans. And a very special guest whose leadership has made our local court system work better for all it serves, New York State Supreme Court Justice and the Administrative Judge for the 7th Judicial District, Judge Bill Taylor. You know, the county executive and I work very closely with our partners in the Monroe County Legislature, and we appreciate the work and support of the legislators who want to solve problems for the people of Monroe County. Joining us today are President Yaversha Roman, Majority Leader Michael Udelson, Legislator John Baines, Legislator Albert Blankley, Legislator Rose Bonnick, Legislator Carolyn Delvecchio Hoffman, Legislator Ricky Frazier, Legislator Linda Hasman, Legislator Howard Mafucci, Legislator Dave Long. We have Republican leader Steve Brew, Legislator Frank Giardi, Legislator Blake Keller, Legislator Virginia McIntyre, Legislator Rick Milne, Legislator Tom Sinclair, and Legislator Jackie Smith. And we're also joined by several town supervisors and village mayors. We've developed some great partnerships with our towns and villages and appreciate the following for joining us. Fairport Mayor Julie Domeratz, Brighton Supervisor Bill Maley, Gates Supervisor Cosmo Junta, Henrietta Supervisor Steve Schultz, Penfield Supervisor Jeff Leanhouse, Pittsford Supervisor Bill Smith, Ogden Supervisor Mike Zale, and Webster Supervisor Tom Flaherty. Again, thank you so much for being here with us today. It means so much to us to have your support as we continue to make Monroe County the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you.
Forged by water, powered by innovation. Monroe County has long been a community of visionaries, dreamers who bent light to capture moments, to give the world vision and focus. Where revolutions weren't just imagined, they were engineered in print shops, in factories, convention halls, and living rooms. Here, our past isn't forgotten, it's the foundation. A legacy we carry forward. Monroe County continues to be driven by its people, challenging convention, building new pathways, and igniting progress. The spirit of invention, creativity, and resilience defines us in technology and innovation, education, and culture. We're reimagining the future by sowing seeds in a garden we may never get to see, but one we believe in all the same, and commit ourselves to focus on what matters.
And now, Monroe County Executive Adam Bello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for the 2025 State of the County Address. I want to start by thanking the Monroe County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard for posting our nation's colors. to Army veteran and Monroe County Veteran Service Officer Matthew Murray for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and to Pastor Sabrone Johnson from Greater Harvest Church for that moving invocation. I'd also like to thank Bruce Barnes and the George Eastman Museum. Thank you for hosting us here at this historic Dryden Theater. And I also would like to point out that he has graciously invited all of you to enjoy the museum at the conclusion of the speech. So thank you. We here are today in the home of someone who shaped our community's past and still defines our spirit. George Eastman was more than an inventor or businessman. He was a visionary who revolutionized how the world sees itself. And he did it by making photography accessible to everyone, not just the wealthy or professional photographers. From the hum of film production to the flash of global recognition, there was a time when Kodak was one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Eastman helped turn Rochester into a cradle of innovation. Through Eastman's innovation, he democratized a new art form and empowered storytelling in a way that no one had ever imagined. But his greatest gift wasn't the camera or the roll of film. It was the mindset that he created for our community. It was a way of thinking that says, what if? What if we could do things differently? What if we can do things better? That spirit of curiosity and courage, of challenging the status quo, still defines who we are as a community. Sure, it is the foundation of our past, but it's also the engine of our future. That same spirit can still be felt throughout our community today, in our colleges and universities, where students are launching new technologies and reshaping entire industries before they even graduate, to our medical and imaging sectors, where breakthroughs are saving lives and attracting talent from around the world. Innovation in Monroe County isn't just a chapter in our history. It's who we are, and it's the foundation of what we're made of. Innovation has helped us grow smarter. It makes us govern better and build a more equitable community. Innovation is how we tackle our biggest challenges, whether it's in public safety, public health, economic development, or infrastructure. Innovation is how we ensure that opportunity reaches every zip code in Monroe County, not just the ones with the highest median income. This afternoon, I'm going to talk about the work we've done, the strategic investments we're making, and the lasting partnerships we're creating to ensure that Monroe County remains a place where ideas are born and where our residents can thrive. We'll look at some of the ways my administration is improving neighborhoods, strengthening public safety, modernizing county government, and creating a thriving environment for our families, workers, and our businesses. We'll share how we're honoring our past while building a future that's innovative, dynamic, and resilient. The 2025 state of Monroe County is rooted in legacy. It's driven by innovation, and it's united by a belief that the best is yet to come. And it's focused on what matters: people, progress, and possibility. Now, so this work cannot be done without the support of our federal, state, and local partners. And I want to start by talking about two of my most important local partners, my parents, Jim and Gail Bello, who are here today. Thank you. And we are really fortunate in Monroe County to have government leaders who are willing to advocate for the needs of our residents in our community. Congressman Joe Morelli, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. I want to thank them for their continued support for Monroe County and the investments that they're making in transformative projects throughout our community. I also want to thank Governor Kathy Hochul, our state legislature delegation. New York State continues to be a vital government partner for Monroe County and is helping to lead our community forward. To my partners in county and local government, Sheriff Baxter, Clerk Romeo, District Attorney Dorley, Legislature President Roman, Majority Leader Udelson, Republican Leader Brew, and the entire Monroe County Legislature, our town and village governments, and our school superintendents, I want to thank all of you for your partnership, your collaboration, and your continued commitment to our community. And to my friend Mayor Malik Evans, you know, for too long, county and city governments, they were often at odds, working against each other instead of for the citizens of Rochester. Today, the partnership between City Hall and the county office building is stronger than it's ever been. It's a relationship built on collaboration, shared purpose, and a commitment to serving our residents together. That is a testament to Mayor Evans' leadership and a personal relationship that we have with each other. And I want to thank you, Mayor Evans, for being such a strong partner focused on delivering for Rochester. And to my team at Monroe County, led by my Deputy County Executive, Jeff McCann, Chief of Staff, Amy Grower, Assistant County Executive, Anthony Plonzinski-Figueroa, and to all my department heads, leadership teams, and to the nearly 4,000 employees who dedicate their lives to the betterment of this community. You maintain our traffic lights, you keep our county parks beautiful, you make sure our airport and other county facilities are as fine as the people who live here. You help attract business and improve job opportunities for hardworking men and women, and you ensure the health and safety of every resident in every zip code. And I want to say thank you for your work. Thank you. Now, looking back over the last year, I'm proud of the accomplishments of Monroe County government and the progress that we're making to enrich the lives of our residents. When I first took office, we set out on a mission. It was to bring government closer to the people, to act boldly in the face of change, and to build a Monroe County where everyone, no matter your zip code, your background, or circumstance, has an opportunity to thrive. Over the past year, we've continued that mission with urgency and resolve. And as I stand here today, I can say without confidence, the state of our county is strong and it's growing stronger every day. And that starts with our county finances, which are the strongest they've been in decades. We put an end to budget tricks and gimmicks of past administrations. We've replaced them with responsible, sustainable fiscal management that avoids deficits and it builds long-term stability. This concentrated effort to improve the county's financial outlook has resulted in our 7th credit rating increase since 2001, 2 of which happened in just the last calendar year. We now have our highest Fitch and Moody's ratings since 2001. Much of our financial progress over the past 5 years is thanks to our exceptional leadership of our CFO, Bob Franklin, and the dedicated team at the Finance Department. Our county finances and bond ratings, they might not be the most exciting thing I'm going to talk about today, but they're important. They're important because a higher bond rating means the county can borrow at a lower interest rate. It makes the county's bonds more attractive for investors, which allows the county to fund all the critical investments we're talking about at a cheaper rate for Monroe County taxpayers. The work you'll hear about today doesn't happen without fiscal responsibility and financial health. When our finances are sound, we can invest in the things that matter most, like keeping our community safe. In my administration, public safety isn't just a line item, it's our priority, and one that we are addressing with urgency and innovation. In nearly every neighborhood I visit and most conversations I have with residents, public safety consistently emerges as one of the most pressing concerns. It's not enough for people to feel safe in their homes. They should be safe in their homes. Safety is the cornerstone of every thriving community. It draws in new business and fuels economic growth that attracts new residents, and it encourages tourism. George Eastman once said, "The world is moving, and a company that contents itself with present accomplishments soon falls behind." Never has this been more true than solving today's public safety challenges and the unknown challenges of tomorrow, which require resources and innovation. They require outside-the-box thinking and leadership that's determined to be part of the solution and not just pass the blame off to somebody else. The implementation of the centralized arraignment park court, which was included in my 2025 budget and launched just a few months ago, has strengthened our criminal justice system by streamlining a process with the goal of getting our law enforcement officers back on patrol faster. There are 19 town courts, 2 village courts, and a city court with 47 town and village justices and 10 city court justices solely in Monroe County, all of which operated separately and held as needed daily arraignments. The previous arraignment process placed a heavy burden on local court staff, police departments, and other law enforcement agencies. Under the old model, officers had to book individuals in the respective towns and villages, and they'd wait, sometimes for hours, for a judge to arrive for arraignment. The system was inefficient, and it was a relic of times past. Every time an officer made an arrest anywhere in Monroe County's 23 jurisdictions, they were pulled off the streets, they're waiting for the bureaucratic process to catch up, and it leaves fewer officers available to patrol and respond to emergencies. The centralized arraignment park court changes all of that. By operating out of the Monroe County Jail and the county court and relying on professionally trained jail deputies for supervision, we save both time and taxpayer dollars. Most importantly, it works to get our officers back on duty faster, back in our neighborhoods where we need them most. This new court also balances the scale of justice. With 2 scheduled arraignment sessions every day, individuals will see a judge quickly, gain more immediate access to services and programs offered through the county jail. But don't just take my word for it. Law enforcement leaders, judges, defense attorneys, and prosecutors alike have praised this new approach. And why? Because it's efficient, because it's fair, and it works.
Out of the gate, I think it's been a great success. We started on March 31st. We've done about 1,300 arraignments. 30% of those arraignments have been felony cases. We've issued about, in the central arraignment part, I think around 370 orders of protection. And that's just demonstrates the work. It's been a month and a half only that we've been working. And that just shows the volume. The CAP went to work, and it went to work right away. And again, I think it's making the justice system work better for everyone.
Thank you, Judge Taylor. Judge Taylor is here today. Thank you, Judge Taylor, for your leadership and your partnership in this implementation. Judge, this truly is a milestone accomplishment for our criminal justice system, and it wouldn't be possible, Judge, without your work and collaboration. I also want to thank Sheriff Baxter, District Attorney Dorley, Public Defender Sianka, and all of our local chiefs of police for their support and advocacy of the CAP Court. This is a shining example of what happens when government, law enforcement, and the justice system all work together to deliver real solutions for our community. Later this year, we anticipate the opening of the Regional Investigative Operations Center, a real-time crime center that leverages advanced technology to support and coordinate criminal investigations across jurisdictions. The REOC was part of a historic $7.3 million investment in the Monroe County Sheriff's Office that Sheriff Baxter and I announced together, and has the capability to detect and respond to criminal activity as it unfolds, providing law enforcement with critical, time-sensitive information. The REOC is a 21st century public safety facility that will better coordinate the constant change of threats to the public. It will enable our law enforcement officers to be more nimble, drive coordination amongst multi-jurisdictional crimes, and it will bring accountability to those doing harm. Simply put, the REOC will give our law enforcement officers the tools that they need and the ability to adjust to the challenges they face every day. This cutting-edge resource will soon be available to all law enforcement agencies throughout Monroe County, strengthening our collective ability to keep communities safe. Over the past year, we've also continued to improve and expand the Juvenile Enhanced Diversion Stabilization Program, our JEDS program, an innovative model of smart justice for youth-aged offenders. Now, when a young person is arrested, we don't wait weeks or months to act. We have to act immediately. We assess, we support, we stabilize, and the results of our efforts are staggering. Since its inception, 84% of participants successfully complete the diversion program, compared to just 36% statewide. And the reoffense rate has dropped to just 3% in Monroe County. Now, that's not just justice, that's transformative. That's lives that have been redirected. That's futures of these young people who've been reclaimed. The team behind the JEDS program is here today, and I'd like to acknowledge the work and their innovation. Public Safety Director Rich Tantillo, Deputy Director Tim Henry, Assistant Director George Marker, Chief Probation Officer Christine Durante, and all of our probation officers. Thank you for your work on the JEDS program. They are the backbone carrying out this work. Now, in Monroe County, we're not just fighting crime. We're investing in tools, training, and technology, like our new high-resolution 3D microscope at the Monroe County Crime Lab that has already produced over 100 firearm-related investigation leads just this year alone. We're also protecting our youngest residents, and we're trying to keep them out of harm's way. Now, every day in Monroe County, hundreds of drivers illegally pass school buses with their stopped arm extended. That is hundreds of kids who are put in harm's way every day. In fact, nearly 20 children are struck and killed across the country every year getting on or off a school bus. Those are drivers who didn't stop like they were supposed to. And if you don't think that happens here, think again. Okay. This is dangerous and it's unacceptable. So we're taking action. Our school bus safety program, launched in partnership with Bus Patrol, has so far issued more than 12,000 citations in our 4 partner school districts: Greece, East Irondequoit, Webster, and Hilton, holding drivers accountable and protecting our kids. This program is about providing peace of mind for our parents and caregivers, teachers, and school staff, and it's also for our bus drivers.
It's been a significant improvement watching the general public as a whole. You're sitting in the driver's seat and you see these people, they As soon as you turn your yellows on, it's like a little apprehension. They slow down, and then when you turn the reds on, everyone knows that, okay, I must immediately stop. If you know that there's going to be a ticket, then you're less likely to run our reds. Having that accountability gives me peace of mind. And it's gratifying in the fact that, when you get the child done at the end of the day, if you can give them a few moments of kindness, solitude, it's a safe zone. When I get off the bus, I don't know what happens in their homes or in their communities, but on my bus, every student is safe, and I love the fact that I can ensure that they are safe.
So thank you, Randy Beatty and David Richardson of the Greece Central School District for keeping our youngest residents safe. Best of all, and all the other school districts that participate as well, and best of all, the program is entirely violator funded as well. Not a penny of taxpayer money goes into this for Monroe County. I want to thank Christina Doherty, Chuck Johnson, and our dedicated public safety team who have made our roadways and our bus crossings safer with the implementation of this program. Not only are we improving our crossings at the school bus stops, we're also committed to improving traffic and pedestrian safety for all Monroe County residents, launching New York State's first ever community traffic safety team. Now, on average, 47 people are killed in traffic crashes on roads throughout Monroe County every year, and more than 5,000 are injured. Composed of the Monroe County Departments of Public Safety, Transportation, and Planning and Development Department, the CTST has worked collaboratively with federal, state, and local governments, law enforcement, nonprofit organizations, and neighborhood associations to tackle traffic safety issues across our community. Since its launch in October, the CTST has received input and reports from over 330 Monroe County residents, alerting us to dangerous traffic and pedestrian crossing, roadways, and more. This is how government listens, leads, and adapts to new challenges and threats to public safety. As George Eastman once wrote, a good reputation is measured by how much you can improve the lives of others. Now, it's often said that public safety and public health, they go hand in hand and are critical to improving the lives of others. This year, our commitment to community wellness has reached new heights, and it starts with our support of innovative new EMS programs and initiatives. Emergency medical service providers are often the first stop in the healthcare continuum. The quality of our pre-hospital care can make a life or death difference for Monroe County residents. Rapid response times, fully equipped ambulances, and well-trained paramedics and EMTs are the hallmarks of a highly functioning EMS system. We are fortunate to have outstanding EMS providers in our cities and in our city and towns. 17 agencies, both volunteer and paid. Many are responding with fire departments, answering 150,000 911 calls each year. The system works well, but in high-demand environments such as ours, there's always room for improvement. There are times when the system is overloaded with calls on one side of the county, leaving patients on the other side waiting for care. There are busy emergency departments causing EMS providers to have to wait with patients rather than getting back out on the road to take more calls. Wait times can negatively impact a patient's health outcome, especially with critical calls like a heart attack or a stroke when every second counts. As with any healthcare organization, EMS providers, they collect an awful lot of data, more than 1,000 data points per call. Across 17 agencies and 150,000 service calls, that is an extraordinary amount of data that right now, it cannot really be used in any systemic or meaningful way. That is all about to change. Thanks to Tim Henry, Tim Sopransky, and the team at the Office of Emergency Management, Monroe County was awarded a highly competitive EMS Innovation Grant from the State Bureau of EMS and Trauma. This $500,000 grant will help us take all of this data and create a real-time dashboard of our county-wide EMS system. The dashboard will alert 911 dispatchers when there are potential coverage gaps so that ambulances can be proactively deployed to busier locations. Emergency department staff will be notified when ambulance wait times are too long so additional support can be called in and EMS providers can get released back out onto the road. The data collection dashboard will also improve patient care. ED personnel will see ambulance arrival times in advance so they can better prepare for all those incoming patients. All EMS patient charts can be reviewed and audited. Right now, only really a subset are, but by EMS medical directors who can identify needs for additional training, updated protocols, or trends in patient illness or injury. We've also been able to make significant investments in EMS over the past few years using our American Rescue Plan dollars to help those agencies upgrade equipment, purchase new ambulances, and train paramedics and EMTs. The EMS dashboard is going to take this system to the next level. It is going to ensure that Monroe County residents get the highest quality pre-hospital care from every ambulance department and emergency department in Monroe County. Now, the strain on our
Working with
local-
our elected officials, with the county executive, for example, has been really great because he's been interested in what's happening in EMS.
Yeah.
It's very clear that the problem is complex. He's taken the time to hear out the challenges that we've had. And he's also been very clear with us that he's not interested in creating new layers or inefficiency. He wants to work with us. The challenge for us has been coming back to him with a clear definition and an understanding of our challenges so that he understands how best to work with us, rather than seeing a highly regulated, very complex problem that's difficult to navigate. We've been able to come together to better define the challenges that face us, to understand the ways that we interact with public safety, and the ways that we can work together with local government to make meaningful improvement.
Thank you, Chief Smith. Now, the strain on our local healthcare system hasn't just impacted EMS and medical service providers. It's also felt in our local hospital systems too. Now, for too long, our region has suffered from a shortage of acute care beds and overcrowded emergency departments. Every day, these systems are caring for dozens of patients who no longer need to be in an acute care setting, but remain hospitalized because they lack an appropriate alternative level of care. These patients are ready to be moved to the next phase of recovery, but our healthcare infrastructure has been strained and is struggling to accommodate them. At the heart of this challenge is the critical need for effective and reliable process to transition patients from hospitals to skilled nursing facilities. And to make matters worse, our nursing homes were facing the same obstacles as hospitals, whether that be rising operational costs, workforce shortage, or growing funding gaps. As a result, patients remained in hospital beds longer than necessary, contributing to the inefficiencies and delaying care for additional patients who are coming into the system. Accepting the status quo, though, this is not an option. So Monroe County partnered with local hospitals, nursing homes, and community organizations to launch an innovative program to help break up this bottleneck. We called it the Transformational Community Care Coordination Program, the TC3 program. The program was built to address the barriers that were preventing complex care patients from moving to the appropriate next level of care. It focused on developing the nursing workforce by creating career pathways within skilled nursing facilities, provided financial support to help nursing homes manage the high costs of care for complex patients, and it improved patient transportation to both nursing facilities and home settings, ensuring that our patients were not left unnecessarily in a hospital while waiting for a ride. TC3 started as a pilot program thanks to the American Rescue Plan funding, testing it as a proof of concept, and it worked. The remarkable results significantly reduced the number of alternative level of care patients in our hospitals, not just freeing up capacity, but ensuring that patients receive the level of care that they need, where they need it, and when they need it. I brought the success of this pilot program to Governor Hochul, and thanks to her support, there's a $15 million in state funding. We were able to relaunch and expand this program in 2025. And I want to thank Governor Hochul and our state legislature delegation who fought for the TC3 program to be included in the budget. This investment is good for our healthcare systems. It will be transformative for the thousands of patients and families who count on it. TC3 means faster transitions, better care, and healthier outcomes. Now, since becoming county executive in 2020, I have never hesitated to confront the shortcomings of county government head on. And I challenge my leadership team to find bold and effective solutions. One of the most significant challenges we currently face is in our medical examiner's office, one that directly affects the quality of work, the ability to recruit and retain staff, and the timeliness of our findings. Now, historically, the Office of Medical Examiner has been underfunded, making it difficult for us to recruit, retain staff, particularly pathologists. Currently, the ME's office has 3 full-time pathologists who are responsible for handling roughly 4,000 cases a year. To meet national accreditation standards, each doctor should ideally manage fewer than 250 cases a year, with an absolute maximum of 350. We're operating at nearly 4 times that level. This is a situation that would be considered unmanageable by virtually any profession. The seriousness of this challenge doesn't just impact recruitment, it affects case turnaround times as well. Too few doctors in too many cases means it takes far too long to close out a case. Doctors are asked to do too much and families have to wait too long for a result. Our doctors are working every case to the best of their ability. However, with the current staffing and caseloads, it's just simply too long. This is not fair to the staff at the ME's office, and most importantly though, it's not fair to our families and loved ones in our community who are waiting for an ME's report and the ME's findings. No one should have to wait 6 months, a year, or longer to find out what happened to their mother or father, their sister or brother, their daughter or their son. It's unacceptable, and I am committed to making sure that we change it. Just last night, I submitted a referral to the county legislature to strengthen staffing in the medical examiner's office and to address our ongoing recruitment and retention challenges. This initiative, funded through the county's opioid settlement dollars, would increase salaries for both current and budgeted positions, create new forensic pathology roles, and expand contracts with outside forensic pathology contractors. Together, these investments are designed to ease the caseload burden on our existing staff, accelerate turnaround times for reports and findings, and move us towards the ultimate goal of achieving national accreditation for our medical examiner's office. Young doctors, they want to work in accredited offices where they can practice at the highest standards. But unfortunately, with our current pay structure and the overwhelming caseload, it's really exceedingly difficult to recruit full-time pathologists to our team, which then makes accreditation impossible. If we want to ensure quality, timely service for our community and attract the talented professionals that we need, we must take action to bring our medical examiner's office in line with those national standards. These new investments are a critical step forward to solving these challenges and delivering the resources and support that both our medical examiner's office and our community rightfully deserve. We also continue to face the opioid epidemic. This is a crisis that's touched neighborhoods and communities in every corner of Monroe County. Our impact team has boots on the ground every day, installing over 600 naloxone boxes and distributing more than 35,000 naloxone kits. They're working with local high schools to educate young people about the dangers of experimenting with illicit substances in an effort to prevent substance use disorder from developing. The impact team is partnering with our colleges and universities too, training faculty, students, resident assistants, and even the fraternities and sororities on how to properly use naloxone. And new this year, we've launched the Call to Action campaign, a series of public service announcements and advertisements funded by opioid settlement dollars. This campaign is simple: reduce the stigma surrounding substance use disorder, increase public awareness of naloxone availability and fentanyl contamination in all street drugs, and to share real stories from those who are impacted by substance use disorder.
When we learned that naloxone boxes were available from the county, we immediately got on the wait list for it. We have decided to have the naloxone boxes both inside of our facility as well as outside of our facility. We want not only our members to have access to it, but our community at large. We all have the ability to help someone who is experiencing an overdose. Get your naloxone today.
All right, I want to thank Dr. Mary Elena Velez de Brown, our Commissioner of Public Health, Dr. Tisha Smith, our Addiction Service Director, and really our entire impact team for their commitment to this life-saving work. Thank you. Monroe County has also long been a leader in protecting children from the dangers of lead poisoning. Thanks to years of coordinated work by our Department of Public Health, in partnership with the City of Rochester, healthcare providers, and community organizations, we've reduced elevated blood lead levels by more than 90% since the late 1990s. But our work is sadly far from done. Just last year, 241 children, mostly in Rochester's most vulnerable neighborhoods, were still diagnosed with lead poisoning. It's unacceptable. The threat persists because Rochester has one of the oldest housing stocks in the nation. Nearly 90% of the homes were built before lead paint was banned. And so we're responding with action. With more than $5.7 million in grant funding, Monroe County has launched a 3-part strategy to help prevent lead exposure before it happens: a lead rental registry, a leading in lead prevention pilot program that invests in $40,000 per unit in home safety upgrades and enhanced education and case management for families. And I want to thank my team, Star O'Neill, and the team at the Monroe County Department of Public Health for their efforts to work towards a future where no child in Monroe County is harmed by lead. Thank you, Star. Monroe County is also proud to be home of thousands of our nation's veterans. While many veterans return to our community and resume civilian life successfully, for others, the transition can be far more challenging. And this is where our Veteran Service Agency, led by Director Nick Stefanovic, and our dedicated veteran service officers make a real difference, connecting local veterans with services and supports and programs that they need to thrive. Whether it's helping them secure VA benefits, find stable housing, or simply offering a connection to someone who understands their experience, our team is there to help every step of the way. And this year, we're bringing our Veteran Service Agency resources even closer to those who need it through our new satellite offices in the town of Greece and the town of Webster. These offices bring resources closer to home, helping our veterans access the benefits that they've earned.
There's been 2 homeless veterans that were actually living in their car outside the mall. And they just happened to hear about us and they came in here. And the one veteran, he's actually not homeless now. We got him in a shelter. He's about to be awarded benefits. His case is looking real good. And the other veteran, he's working full time now too. So, you know, this isn't just a job for us. It's almost like a life mission. You know, in the military, they say no one left behind, no man left behind. But I always say, you know, the day you're discharged from the military, that doesn't stop. You know, that keeps going.
Thank you, Matt. I want to thank Nick Stefanovic, Matt Murray, and for all of their advocacy for our veterans and all of our veteran service officers. Both the Greece and Webster offices double as satellite offices for our Office of the Aging as well, also bringing those services closer to our older residents. Many part-time workers in Monroe County face a difficult choice: accept more work and risk the stability of their public assistance, or maintain fewer hours and preserve the support their family relies on. The perception of a benefits cliff sometimes creates hesitation towards pursuing greater earnings, a job promotion, or even long-term financial stability, which can undermine a family's ultimate path toward independence, and that should never happen. Our track record of innovating has earned us the trust of New York State, which has just awarded Monroe County a $3 million grant to create a Monroe Ladder program, a pilot project to help examine this issue. The goal of the program is to gain deeper insights into how the benefits cliff impacts employers, workers, and their families. The work will support families who participate in the project by providing personalized, accurate information towards their employment decisions, as well as support and financial counseling towards economic stability and self-sufficiency. This pilot would not be possible without the support of Governor Hochul and the leadership of the Monroe County Department of Human Services Commissioner Thalia Wright and our Deputy Commissioner Denise Reed and our entire DHS team. So thank you, team, for your work. And to further advance our child poverty reduction efforts and expand opportunities for Rochester families, Mayor Evans and I worked together to secure $25 million in state funding to support local poverty programs. This initiative will draw on successful models that provide families with direct help today and greater economic opportunity for the future. From case management and individualized and targeted financial support and counseling to mentoring programs and mental and physical health care, this funding will be part of the hand up that these families need to lift themselves out of poverty and create generational change. Now, of course, lasting progress against poverty depends on more than just direct support. It requires building a strong, inclusive economy where all residents can access good jobs and opportunity. We remain sharply focused on economic and workforce development because we know that the best way for Monroe County residents to thrive and prosper is to have stable, meaningful, good-paying jobs. A flourishing local economy means people are working, spending, growing our tax base. And my administration and our partners are determined to support local businesses with the tools that they need to succeed and to keep this county moving forward. So I want to start with Comida Investments. The industrial development agencies were created by New York State with the express purpose of creating and retaining jobs to reduce unemployment and prevent economic decline. I am proud to report that despite the upheaval of the global pandemic and the ongoing economic uncertainty, my administration has fueled a period of historic growth. In the past 5 years, 216 Comida-backed projects have delivered over $4.3 billion in capital investments with over 5,800 new jobs and 6,800 retained jobs. We focus on what matters, and we're seeing results. Now, in just the past year, we've supported expansions by a variety of companies across business sectors, from Ultrafill and Unither Corporation in the pharmaceutical industry, to Raymond Corporation and Gleason in advanced manufacturing, Waffleator in food and beverage, and We the Hobby. Now, if you weren't aware, We the Hobby, Monroe County is home to the premier global sports card entertainment company. Amazon has exceeded employment projections at Rock 1 in Gates and is expanding operations and adding more jobs at Rock 5 in Ogden later this year. We celebrated investments at CooperVision, SWBR Architects, Diamond Packaging. The list goes on. I'm sorry, I probably missed some businesses that are here today even. But this year, we're redefining Monroe County's industrial and economic landscape with the largest Comida-supported project in Monroe County history. The Fairlife project in Webster, now exceeding its projected $650 million investment, is on track to be the largest dairy processing plant in northeastern United States. Once operational, this plant will take in 5 to 6 million pounds of milk per day from local dairy farmers, and in doing so, in a facility that's optimized for sustainability, using stormwater for irrigation and cooling, LED intelligent control lighting, and automatic conveyors and HVAC systems that switch off when not in use. More than 300 high-wage jobs will be created at this next-generation facility, with over 70% of the construction workforce drawn from our own community. The impact of this project extends to our local schools, town infrastructure, farmers, and service providers, with over $23 million to be paid in local tax revenues during the pilot term and $30 million annually projected in local supplier and service contracts. That's what Comida Investments is all about. We don't operate in a vacuum. We are fortunate. We are part of an economic development community that works together to make these projects happen. And I'm telling you right now, not all communities can say that. From Governor Hochul's team, led by Empire State Development, led by Vinny Esposito, Rochester Chamber of Commerce CEO Bob Duffy, Greater Rochester Enterprise CEO Matt Hurlbut, the boards of directors of Comida and MCIDC, led by Ann Burr and Hanif Abdul Wahid, respectively. We have the dream team of local partners, and I want to thank all of you working together with Anna Liss, our economic development staff. These partners in this room have the expertise, the creativity, the drive, and the innovation that has kept Monroe County employment rate lower than that of the state and the nation. Well done. But it's not just about the big projects and the major employers. Small businesses are the backbone of our local economy, and the entrepreneurs and small business owners, they need help as well, whether trying to expand or bridging an unforeseen gap. A lack of access to capital has been a problem for small business owners of color in particular. And thanks to our work with the Rochester-Monroe County Race Commission, we launched the $6.8 million Monroe County Micro Advantage Loan Program. This initiative provides microloans at below market rates, just 4%, for certified MWBEs and for veterans. In less than a year, the program has invested over $3.3 million into 72 local companies, with more than 70% minority or women owned. In today's climate of high inflation, rising interest rates, and looming tariffs, these loans have been a lifeline for Monroe County's small businesses. Critical focus of our economic development efforts is also in workforce development. Now, I hear regularly from businesses still about their difficulties in finding skilled workers to fill jobs. Yet we know we have people who need work. So in 2022, I worked with the Comida Board of Directors to pioneer the Comida Workforce Development Fund. It was a game-changing move to dedicate Comida project revenues to workforce training. Since its inception, Comida has invested nearly $7 million into 16 innovative programs, resulting in training and credentialing for over 4,000 job seekers. From the TRACS program, which builds a diverse union pipeline, to the building trades, to the young adult manufacturing and training employment program, program to retain, our unique graduate retention program. These investments are not just helping people find jobs, they're building long-term careers. So whether through $11.99 SCIU healthcare worker training, support for home-based childcare entrepreneurs through the Rochester Child First Network, or enhanced counseling services for people recovering from opioid addiction through Rochester Works, Comita's investments are helping people at every stage of life and in every corner of the workforce. And we also cannot forget the impact that Monroe Community College has in developing our workforce. And I'd like to thank my friend, Dr. Deanna Bertnana, for her leadership and her partnership in readying the workforce of tomorrow. Now, Dr. Bertnana and I recently broke ground on the new Advanced Technology Center on the East Henrietta Road campus. It's a $69 million investment to close the skills gap in high-demand trades like optics, HVAC, and precision machining. Empower, our innovative workforce development initiative with MCC that provides industry-led training for job seekers and incumbent workers. It's resulted in more than 3,200 people upgrading their skills to meet market demands. These efforts are complemented by standout programs like the Monroe County Finger Lakes Apex Accelerator, connecting local businesses with government contracting opportunities. And this is another program that is really working well. Local businesses have landed nearly $1.1 billion in contracts over the last 5 years. Now, this program has been so successful that we just learned this week that our Apex program will be expanding to serve Erie and Niagara counties. The Apex Accelerator, which is hosted by Comita and located within our Department of Planning and Development, will now cover 13 counties across the Finger Lakes Central and Western New York region, including the entire New York Smart I-Corridor Tech Hub. Now, this is significant because it will bring exciting opportunities to Monroe County businesses by allowing them to tap into that tech hub momentum. So I want to congratulate our economic development and Apex teams. You are doing a great job, and you know you're doing a great job when someone steps in and says, we want you to do more. So congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Now, economic development is a continuum, and sometimes we have to be prepared to support projects before they even start. Our area's largest employer, the University of Rochester Medical Center, they're undergoing major renovations to Strong Memorial Hospital. Now, if you've been to that campus recently, you know that they have been very creative in their use of limited space. This new project will triple the size of the emergency department and construct a new patient care tower with more than 200 examination and treatment rooms and an inpatient facility with 100 new private rooms. These renovations will be good for our entire community. It will reduce both bed shortages and ED overcrowding and improve patient care. But it was also going to put significant pressure on the county's wastewater utility infrastructure. So thanks to a long history of partnership, I worked with URMC leadership on an agreement to share the cost of a 34-foot deep submersible pump station that will handle 3.5 million gallons of wastewater and connect to our existing sewer line. This is a win-win resolution that's going to add capacity to our system, to our infrastructure, and is going to benefit both the county and URMC for years to come. And that's really what we mean by focusing on what matters for our residents. Our economic and workforce development agenda is not just about breaking ground, it's about building futures. And as we look ahead, the opportunities are really endless. We're laying the groundwork for Monroe County to lead New York and the nation into the next era of economic excellence. And I want to talk about one way we're going to jumpstart this new era, and that's through the development of the Multimodal Freight Initiative, or MMFI. Monroe County continues to be a leader in manufacturing, and specifically in optics, photonics, food and agricultural processing, and precision instruments. Ensuring these sectors continue to grow and thrive is critical to the county's future economic success. And we've heard from local manufacturers that they face logistical barriers in gaining access to markets, specifically because of a fragmented transportation system. In response, the MMFI is bringing stakeholders together to identify opportunities to improve our transportation infrastructure and our facilities. We believe that together we can coordinate investments in specific geographic areas and the transportation corridors and facilities that serve them, which will increase the attractiveness of Monroe County for that private sector investment and the jobs that come with it. A key piece of the multimodal project is access to the Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester International Airport, which moves on a lot of freight, but it also moves a lot of people too. And that number just keeps growing. And 20,000 more people flew out of Rock in 2024 than in 2023. And so far this year, in just the first 4 months of the year, we're up another 8%. I want to thank Andy Moore and the Airport Authority. Because of their work, we've added 8 new direct destinations from Rock and 2 new carriers so that our residents have more options when making their travel plans. Now, if you haven't flown out of Rock lately, I encourage you to give it a try. Not only are you going to be able to park more easily due to our new lighted place finding system, but you're going to be impressed with the family-friendly amenities and the new veterans area that pays a moving tribute to our local vets. Now, frequent flyers are not surprised by the fact that our airport has landed on USA Today's top 10 best small airports list for the second year in a row. And this year, we moved up 3 spots to number 7. So congratulations, Andy and the team. Another area in which Monroe County excels is our water quality. We are very lucky to live in a community where you can not only trust the water that comes out of your tap, but you can trust that you are going to have a lot of it and you're going to have it for a very long time. Now, this is not something that previous county executives and managers had to think about, but the fact that Monroe County may be a refuge from the effects of climate change, partly because of our easy access to clean water, is a very real one. We're proud of our water resources and committed to taking care of them. This past year was a milestone for 2 important initiatives that will keep our water supply safe for decades to come. First, we recently completed a 7-year, $75 million capital improvement program at the Van Laer Water Resource Recovery Facility that has resulted in water quality good enough to win gold compliance awards from the New York Water Environmental Association and the National Association of Clean Water Agencies. And thanks to the work of several county departments and many of our community partners, the EPA has announced that they've removed the Rochester embayment as an area of concern under the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement. Now, you know government likes its acronyms. I hate our acronyms, but we love acronyms. The development of our CSOAP, heard of CSOAP, the Combined Sewer Overflow Abatement Program. And it's 35 miles of deep rock tunnels. Those tunnels can store 175 million gallons of storm and wastewater for treatment. It has nearly entirely reversed the impact of 200 years of industrialization and the environmental impact that's had along the Genesee River, Irondequoit Bay, and Lake Ontario. Now, with apologies to DES Director Mike Garland and his team, these projects are not likely to blow up the internet or inspire any TikTok videos today. And you may actually never hear the word CSOAP again. Although I went in the tunnels last year, it's fun. But the difference in these initiatives are going to make in the future of Monroe County the ability for future generations to live here because the water is safe, the environment is clean, is monumental. And as we think about the future generations here living here, I also want to talk about housing. Across the country, governments are struggling to provide more housing options for people that won't break the bank. The Monroe County Legislature last night approved a package of housing programs that I submitted that will make it easier for low-income and first-time home buyers to take part in the American dream of home ownership. This includes nearly $1.8 million to rehab houses throughout the county that will be made available to qualified home buyers, and another $660,000 to help with down payment costs and housing counseling. We're also partnering with CDS Monarch to develop 69 supportive housing units in Fairport for low-income seniors and with rural housing opportunities to provide funding for homeowners to make necessary home repairs that they would otherwise be unable to afford. Together with the steps we're taking to help renters and landlords with eviction diversion, rental arrears, and property improvement grants, we are making sure that more county residents have safe and healthy housing to improve their quality of life. Now, quality of life is one of those terms that we throw around, but what does it really mean? It likely means different things to different people, but for most, it includes feeling safe, having stable housing, making sure your family's health and educational needs are met, and generally enjoying where you live. When people like the place where they live, they do things that beget more people living here, right? They invite their friends and family to visit, they take care of their neighborhoods, and they participate in our community activities. Now, without museums, zoos, parks, sports, and arts and cultural institutions, a community gives up on itself, gives up on the shared spaces and experiences that bring us together. It makes us proud to be where we're from. Now, I'm proud to be from Monroe County, and I am proud to be making big investments that will improve the quality of life for all who live here. And I want to start with the Seneca Park Zoo. Seneca Park Zoo is an affordable, family-friendly educational attraction that welcomes 400,000 visitors every year. Now, design has begun on a $100 million project that will re-envision the front entry plaza and install a new tropical exhibit, providing an exceptional educational and entertainment experience for Monroe County residents and visitors alike. The new Tropics building will include a rainforest, tropical islands, and Pacific Reef habitats, and a huge Pacific Reef tank. We'll welcome new species, some of which I've never even heard of. We'll have the mud skipper, which is actually going to be my favorite, the fossa, the sifaka, and the siamang. I have absolutely no idea if I pronounced that right. I don't even know what it looks like, but I can't wait to find out, and I'll bet you can't either. And the new main entry plaza, it's going to update membership and ticketing offices, classroom and education space, event space, administrative offices, and the zoo shop. So whether you're interested in the zoo's conservation efforts or want to learn more about the North American river otter, whose ranks are growing, we just had the birth of 3 new pups, or if we want to bring out town guests to visit our red panda, the Seneca Park Zoo will remain a welcoming, enjoyable place for our families. Now, if zoos aren't your thing, maybe sports are. The Rochester Red Wings, they have called Monroe County home since 1956 and are part of the fabric of this community. Major League Baseball recently established new criteria for minor league facilities to improve safety and enhance player development in order for smaller cities to keep their franchises. Now, rather than debate the merits of those demands, I decided to do the league one better, and we made sure the improvements we made extended to the people baseball is really for, the fans. Innovative Field is now home to a new video scoreboard, improved lighting, new signage, in addition to all of those player amenities. It's home to numerous events beyond baseball and a cornerstone of the High Falls neighborhood. The investments in Innovative Field are another thing that makes a difference for all Monroe County. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment right now to thank Grant Malone. Grant's here today. He is the president of the Rochester Building Trades, Joseph Morelli Jr., his team at Unicon, all of our partners at the Building Trades for their help in getting those projects I talked about done with local labor, on time, and on budget. Thank you. We have worked with the trades on 6 project labor agreements in my time in office, from Innovative Field to the Advanced Technology Center and the airport. And we have proven that PLAs are an effective way to keep people working while providing a great value for our taxpayers. Our quality of life isn't necessarily all about the big ticket items. It's also about the smaller ways that we can make our neighborhoods better for the people who live here. Sidewalks are just one of those examples. Now, many of our towns have a lot of streets without sidewalks, which on busy roads can make it dangerous for people to walk, exercise, walk their dogs, things like that. Now, with limited budgets, towns might not be able to afford the expense of installing sidewalks. As a former town supervisor, I understand that challenge. So with the support of the county legislature, we created a $10 million matching fund that could be used to add sidewalks to county road projects. It's a shared cost that made the installation more affordable. And I'm happy to report and to show you the result of the first sidewalk agreement. This is Aldrich Road in the town of Perrington. Now, other sidewalk projects are currently underway in Brockport, Chili, Clarkson, Mendon, Pittsford, and Riga. Now, this innovative partnership is a win-win-win for the county, the towns, and our residents. And I appreciate the many partnerships that we've been able to create with other governments. And our park system is another area which we've been able to work together to add value for our residents. Just a month ago, we cut the leash on the Barkyard, a new dog park in Parma Town Park that is now part of the county's dog park system. We collaborated with the town of Perrington on a state swims grant, bolstering the number of lifeguards who will be hired at both Ontario Beach Park and the Perrington Aquatic Center. And thanks to a grant from the U.S. Forest Service, we're planting nearly 9,000 native trees throughout our park system. Now, these, like that, Mayor, Mayor Appleseed, yeah. So these collaborations are making a real difference in the way that our residents are going to experience our parks for generations to come. We've also worked with the Mendon Foundation, another great partner, to renovate a 6-mile span of the Lehigh Valley Trail in Mendon. And we're going to be improving another section of that trail as it runs through Rush later this year. So we continue to improve, expand mileage for hikers throughout the county. We're soon going to add more trails at Northampton, Grease Canal, and at Abraham Lincoln Parks. Parks are often thought as the great equalizer. No matter where you live, what your background is, how much money you have, how old you are, our parks are for you. But there are groups that have limited ability to enjoy our parks, and that includes individuals with disabilities. So that's why a big part of my Go Outside Monroe initiative involves improving accessibility in our parks. And I'd like to thank Parks Director Pat Meredith, Bob Kiley, and his whole team for making that happen. Just last week, we opened an ADA accessible kayak and canoe launch in Churchville Park, which is just the most recent adaptive improvement, joining others that we made at Ontario Beach Park and at restrooms, lodges, playgrounds, and spray parks across the county park system. We're going to continue to make our parks as accessible and enjoyable for our residents as possible, whether it's kayaking on Black Creek, golfing at the Calvin Peak Putt and Pitch at Genesee Valley, or off-road cycling at Tryon Park. Now, for those of you who like to bicycle on pavement, whether for exercise or transportation, we're also trying to make that experience safer and more attractive for you as well. We've done that by adding bike lanes in Brighton, Henrietta, and Greece, and we're investing in new bike lanes in the towns of Irondequoit and Pittsford this year. With more people choosing alternative forms of transportation, it is important that we provide them with the same level of safety that we do for motorists and pedestrians. Now, it's hard to believe, but we have already started work on the 2026 budget. With a budget of $1.5 billion and 4,000 employees across 27 different departments, it is a challenge in the best of times to make sure that we are meeting our responsibilities and that we're focusing on what matters and providing county taxpayers with the value that they've come to expect. This year, it's going to be a little bit harder. The chaos at the federal level is introducing unprecedented stress on nearly every sector of society. Senate leaders have said they'd like to pass the president's budget bill by July 4th. See if that happens. But the constant barrage of executive orders, departmental and staffing reductions, grant withdrawals, tariff increases, tariff decreases over the past 6 months, and the lawsuits that accompany all of them is, in my opinion, irresponsible, it is short-sighted, and it is completely unnecessary. Now, it's often said that the markets like stability, but really don't we all? And it's for good reason. These orders, the eliminations, the reductions, the reinstatements, the reversals, these aren't just news stories or business as usual in Washington. These affect real people. They affect business owners who don't know how much product to buy or sell and how many workers they need. Nonprofit leaders don't know if their programs are going to be funded, how many people they're going to be able to serve, how many staff they need. People who are directly dependent on federal assistance, whether it's through Medicaid or Medicare, housing vouchers, food aid, special education, they don't know how to budget, they don't know what to plan for. And this insecurity also impacts local governments like Monroe County. Not only are we in danger of our $150 million in funding that we receive from the federal government for initiatives that I talked about today, from lead paint poisoning prevention to addiction services to job training, traffic safety, but we may also see an increase in the number of people who come to us for that very help because their benefits have been cut. So it's a double whammy. As this budget year unfolds, and we are more clear on what the changes are that the federal level really mean for Monroe County residents, there is one promise that I am going to make to you, that we are going to stay focused on what matters, and there will be no chaos. What problems we face as a community, we will solve as a community. Now, it's not going to be easy, but when we have faced complex problems before, from the pandemic, the opioid crisis, to emergency department overcrowding, and even juvenile crime, we have made great progress by getting the experts into a room. We take stock of our resources, we think outside the box, we innovate, and we develop our own solutions. And that's what we're going to continue to do. It's people, it's progress, and it's possibility. These aren't just words. This is our North Star. Every program we've launched, every dollar we've invested, every reform we've implemented has been focused on what matters most to Monroe County residents. Because the strength of Monroe County isn't found in government buildings or in the budget books. It's found in our people. It's found in the bus driver, making sure that every child gets to school safely. In the paramedic administering Narcan in a life or death moment. In the small business owner hiring her first employee. In the young person getting back on track with the proper guidance and support. That's what this work is all about. And it's why I am hopeful about the future. The state of the county is strong because the people of Monroe County are strong. And as long as we stay focused on what matters, our best days are yet to come. Thank you. God bless you. And may God continue to bless Monroe County. Thank you. Okay.